crazyforcars.com. I'm your host, Steve Gray. And this week, while the H2 crazyforcars.com van might look like normal, it's a time machine. This week, we're going back to a drive-in. There's not very many of these left across the country. This is one of the very few that's left. We're over on Delsea Drive, just outside of Vineland, New Jersey. This actual drive-in was built in 1947. We're in the late 40s. And the screen went dark in the late 80s, maybe 87, 89 in that era. A gentleman came back in around 2001, bought the place up, and kept it from becoming a shopping mall or housing development, and we're able to enjoy movies like when I was a kid. Yeah, that was a long time ago. We're going to pay some bills, and we're going to stop back and talk to the owners of some of the cars here today. Should be a real interesting show. Don't go away. We'll be right back. Welcome back. If you're just joining us, I'm Steve, and this is crazyforcars.com. We're just outside of Vineland, New Jersey, at Delsea Drive-In. I've got a car here that was actually built before the drive-in. This car probably saw some drive-ins in its day, but it was around before the drive-ins. Now, as the camera shoots this car, it's going to appear that the camera's showing negative. It's actually not, and the steering wheel is on the side that it looks like it's on. Hi, I've got the owner here. Tell us your name.
Fred Pahamis. My brother had the car for 25 years, and I took it over in 1978, and I rebuilt it and got it back in 2002. It's
a great looking car. You were showing me some pictures before we got started, and you took this all the way apart from the frame all the way up.
Yes, it did. Right from down, scratch right on up. It was a basket case.
It didn't look anything like it's what it looks now. Now, we were talking about why the steering wheel's on the right or wrong side, depending on how you look at it, where the globe you are. This was an export car that never made it overseas.
As far as I know, that's what my brother told me. He said that's where he took a pick to find it. It was made here, and to go overseas and never went over. So he found it, and that's what he found in a basket case, and where we put it together.
That's got to be a real rare combination. Now, did you pay for the two kids riding in the rumble seat?
No, he let them in free because they didn't talk.
Okay, they kept quiet on the way in.
Yeah.
Now, tell us, what year is the car?
The 31 Roadster.
The 31 Roadster.
Model A.
And we were talking about, does the top come down? Do you ever put the top down? You've had it down before, but you don't normally keep it down.
No, I keep mostly up all the time. We go once in a while, we'll put it down, then we'll put it back up again. That's the first time I had the windshield out.
Yeah, I was going to mention, this was the first time you used the air conditioning up front
right.
with the windshield cracked open in the front like that.
Right, that's warm when it's closed. My wife complains I got the heater on in the summer, and in winter I got the air conditioner on.
It's a great looking car. Now, is that base clear? What kind of paint's on the car?
Yeah, it's a two-step.
Okay. Now, the engine in this, what kind of horsepower? We're going to be looking at some high horsepower cars here in a little while. Now, what kind of horsepower does this make?
4-cylinder Model A, about 100 horses, about it.
About 100 horsepower. The camera, I don't know if the camera's showing how clean and nice this car is. This is really a gorgeous, gorgeous piece. Well, I thank you. Yeah, sure. Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, let's take a look under the hood, see what it looks like on the business end of this. Well, it's as clean and shiny on the inside as it is on the outside.
Yep, that's the way I keep them. I got a Corvair convertible home, Spider, and it's the same way, clean as a whistle.
I make it to a lot of swap meets, car shows, and like parts places, like up at Carlisle, that sort of thing. The grill shells on these are really even starting to bring big money, even for rough pieces.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's what was on it when my brother had it.
Well, this is really nice. I thank you very much for bringing it out and showing it to us today. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hi, we've got a different car here from a completely different generation. We talked about one that was built before the drive-in was built. This one was built in the heyday of the drive-in. This is what, close to a 70, right?
1970.
1970. I nailed it. I've got the owner here. I'm going to let him tell us about the car. I'm sure he knows a little bit more about it than I do.
It's a 1970 Monte Carlo 400. It was called a 400 that year. It's actually a 402 big block. It's a factory 4-speed car. There were less than 500 of them made that year. And I've had this one since I was 17 years old.
That is so cool that you've got one. I mean, like if I always say if I could go back and hang on to the ones that I've had when I was a lot younger, but you've actually still got it.
Yep. Hung on to it when my son was born. I toyed around with the idea of selling it and getting out of him. I slept on it one night and decided I'd keep it.
It's neat to have a car when you have so much history with it. Has it been to a drive-in before?
Actually, this is the first time for me.
That's the last I was saying earlier. The last I was at a drive-in was when I was a little kid. That's been a long time ago. This is it restored? Is it still original?
I took it off the frame, redid the frame and the suspension, also redid the interior. It's on its second paint job over the original paint. It's showing a little wear and tear on the paint job, but it's still pretty presentable.
You're far too critical. It looks fantastic. Is this the original color on the car?
Yes. Yep, it was gold original. Gold with a black interior and black vinyl top.
Now, you mentioned that earlier, like how many, like with the 4-speeds. That's a pretty rare combination, right?
Yes, it is. I think it was less than 1% of the total production with the 4-speeds that year in the Monte Carlo, because it was originally sold as a almost like a luxury car.
Yeah, this is a really neat hot rod. Thank you very much for bringing it out and showing it to us today.
Thank you.
Hi, let me remind you to don't miss our website. Check out crazy4cars.com. That's crazy, the number 4, cars with a Z.com, and you'll be able to download the show if you'd like right from the internet. Tell us where you're going to be, what shows you want to see, and we'll make sure we can get out and see you. I've got a different one here to look at. We looked at another kind of gold car. This is, I guess, in keeping a theme, 2 cars in a row. Different generations car. I've got the owner here with us. Tell us your name.
John Berger.
Tell us about your car. How long have you had it? Tell us a little bit about it.
I've owned it a little bit over a year now. Picked it up at the Atlantic City show. It's an 02 Chrysler Prowler. And you can see it's got a retro look, so that kind of drug me to it along with the color.
Yeah, these were real popular. It was basically a new street rod with a warranty.
Exactly, yeah, which is nice. It's got the fuel injection and, all the modern features, so you don't have to go searching around for parts. They're still out there, and, it's pretty much a new car.
Now, you mentioned it's a Chrysler Prowler. When these first came out, it was actually a Plymouth before Plymouth went away.
Right, exactly. I believe it was either 1 year or 2 Chrysler took it over, but from 99, the original ones were Plymouth, and then it went to Chrysler.
They started in 99. What year did they actually quit?
I think 02 was the last year.
02 was the last year. Now, you see a lot of these. We were up at Chrysler's at Carlisle a couple of weeks ago. There's a lot of modifications that people do to these, a lot of aftermarket parts.
Yeah, they like to take the bumpers off and make it look like, I guess they call it a speedster. There's mods for the transmission, and now the big thing is everybody's dropping stroker motors in them and trying to get some muscle into them.
We went on Hot Rod Power Tour just a couple of years back, and I took a Viper that I had at the time, and we cruised with one of these. These really have no problem getting down the road at any kind of serious speed.
No, not at all. It's 253 horsepower. It's all aluminum, so they're pretty light. And a lot of guys are just putting gears in them to get it, to get there just a little bit quicker.
Now, talking about the gear ratios, we're going to be talking about that in the tech session we've got coming up shortly. This is a really nice car. Thanks for bringing it out and showing it to us today.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.